consciousness. And I will give you an example of what I mean. Okay, and this example comes from our tradition, from radja-yoga. For instance, you can right now, all of you here that are sitting here, you can observe the room, right? Right? Everyone say yes, yeah?
Yes.
You can observe the room. Okay, good. Now, my question is, can you observe something that's closer to you? For instance, can you observe your hand? Can you?
Yes.
Yes. Can you observe your body? Yes. Is there any part of your body that you can't observe right now?
Yes.
No.
The face.
The face you cannot observe? You don't
No,
have
not
no
my own
sense?
face.
No, I'm not talking
I can't
about
see
seeing
it.
like in
Okay.
mirror.
Oh.
But the question if your consciousness, if you can feel your face, perceive your face.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay. What about your feelings? Can you perceive your feelings?
Yes.
Sadness, anger, happiness, you can perceive.
Yes.
What about your thoughts? Can you perceive your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. What can you not observe? Out of the things that you are, what can you not observe? Can you observe the thought I? Can you observe that? Say I. When you say I, can you observe that? Surely you are conscious of that. So the question is, who observes this? Who observes it? Where is this observation coming from? If everything that your body, your feelings, your thoughts, you can observe, then who is observing it all? Does anyone have an idea who is observing it all? Where is this observing coming from? All day long you refer to yourself as your body, as your emotions, and as your thoughts. All of these things you say I. But I'm saying, how could be I there if you can observe everything? And if you can observe everything, then what is it that observes? Who is it that observes? So this is just to point out something. It's not a quiz, you know. Should be no, and there is. I'm not looking for a certain answer from you, you know, saying, oh, it's like this or it's like that. I'm just trying to open up something for you to think about, some sort of curiosity to investigate. Because everything, what we are doing here more as spiritual seekers, we are not interested in accumulating more ideas and faith and beliefs. As yogis, we are really here like in a laboratory. We are here to discover our essence, to discover who we are, to discover the source of happiness. In our culture, we have one of the most important things is to first of all come in contact with someone that experiences enlightenment. That is one of the most important things in our tradition. It's actually like that in all spiritual traditions. Whenever there is a saint or a master, people come around, settle around him to learn from him. So in our tradition, it's very, very, very similar. This is one of the most important things. Then we have many different, in the Vedic culture, what I tried to explain before, first of all, we have no founder, because it's not about a certain philosophy, a certain concept, a certain revelation, a book, or a message. It's really about the reality. And the reality has always been, will always be, and is for everyone. So it is called eternal Dharma, or the eternal religion. What else can we say about it? The other thing is that it is very vast. The Hindu tradition is a spiritual path, very vast. You have within it almost every form of religion, every form of philosophy. In the Hinduism, for instance, we even have, we can say, a group or a lineage that is lineage of atheists. People who do not believe in God at all. And they are also following the spiritual path. So Hinduism is very vast. It divides to what we call the devotional path. The devotional path is bhakti. We call that bhakti. Bhakti-yoga.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna is a certain form of bhakti-yoga, but the Hare Krishna movement, for instance, they are a very specific lineage, because even in bhakti, you can have Shiva-bhaktis, bhaktas, and you can have Vishnu-bhaktas and Krishna-bhaktas from all sorts. Because really bhakti is all about love and devotion. Love and devotion to God. This is a devotional path. The Hare Krishnas, they represent bhakti, but a very specific lineage.
We met with the Hare Krishna monk back home.
Wonderful, wonderful, good. Yeah, so Hare Krishna is, if you met with them, so they are a specific lineage in what we call Hinduism. What we present here in this organization, my organization, is Hinduism with all of its branches. We do not split ourselves in any way. We don't belong to a specific lineage. We are a specific lineage, but that lineage compiles all the different paths, all the different traditions of the Vedic culture, and so on. So we explained we have the devotional path. We also have the path of jnana, which is the knowledge, the path of knowledge. And in jnana, this is the path that starts with intellectual inquiry. It starts with intellectual inquiry. But all of these paths you see, they all end up in the same thing. They all end up in the realization of divine, of God, of your true nature. So they start differently, but eventually it's like a mountain. You have a mountain and you have many paths around the mountain, but they all lead to the same peak. So in Hinduism we have many paths leading to the same peak. One, as we explained, is the devotional. The other one is the intellectual, the jnana, the path of jnana. And the path of jnana, goes into deep questions. Like, for instance, what is the purpose of life? Like, for instance, investigating, inquiring, what is our true nature? Like we just inquired right now, what is the nature of consciousness? Who is the observer that observes everything? And so on. One of the most famous and essential questions in Jnana Yoga is, who am I? The question, who am I? Who am I? And it's a whole deep and long path. This question is not a question to give an answer. Then we also have Hatha-yoga and radja-yoga, which is another part of our path, and this is the physical aspect of yoga, all the postures that you see everywhere. Does anyone have any questions? I'm losing you a little bit, so I'm gonna cut it for a moment, cut it short. Go ahead.
You got all the statues all around. Is that goddess or what is it?
Okay, all these statues that you see around here, as I explained, what we are doing here is seeking that form, that enlightenment, which is what exists everywhere, every moment. It is the reality, but we are not aware of it. Now this reality, we call it in Hinduism the self. It is the true self. It is the consciousness, pure consciousness. But this form of existence, which is the basis of all forms of life. All the forms of life, it's like a canvas. You have a painting, and then on the painting you start drawing, and then the drawing becomes a house, and becomes a garden, and so on. But behind the drawing, there's a canvas. So right now, as we speak here, we communicate. Your body communicates with my body. Thoughts, we're communicating thoughts. But beneath all of this, there is one consciousness, one awareness. What we call God, what we call the divine, enlightenment, and so on. Now, all of these statues that you see here, they represent this oneness, but they represent different aspects of the divine, of the one God. See, we don't have many gods. People think in Hinduism there are many gods. There are no many gods. Hinduism also talks about one united consciousness, one supreme consciousness, one God, one divinity, that everything abides in that consciousness. But still we have many devas. What are these?